everyone. I'm Adriana Monique Alvarez, the CEO of Alma Publishing, and I'm so excited to be speaking with the expert guest in our upcoming summit, the Ignite Your Dream Summit. And Kayleigh, I'm so excited to talk to you today. Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited to be here. I think I probably say this every time, like just the music intro, like it adds like it is ignite your dream, like get excited. So I always love talking with you, and like that little burst it's so good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'm like doing a dance. Actually, I've been wondering, why didn't we make that longer? Because I'm not quite ready to give it up,
Yeah, we all need our walk-up songs in life, so that's a good one.
It's true. So you are going to be featured in the Ignite Your Dream Summit, which of course is so perfect. And I just want to, I'm looking at the website right now, and your interview is going to be released on day 1 at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. And we talked a lot about how to leave corporate and thrive and what you've done since you've left corporate. And you said and did something when we first got on here before anyone could see us. Let's start with this. Kayleigh, what have you been up to?
Here's the visual, Adriana. Like this is what can be created in a year of creating super impactful multi-author and individual books, like all to ignite other people's dreams and to show the way forward. Like I'm very future focused right now. And as I'm sure we'll talk, like never expected to be a publisher, didn't know what my dream really was when I was in corporate, but like literally this is like 12 months and hundreds of people impacted, thousands of people reading books, but like hundreds of authors and people sharing their stories. Something I never could have dreamed of. Like you just have to be in it,
It is so true. And when I saw that, it just hit me. It was just like, wow, this is what it looks like. And, when you showed me that, you said, I couldn't have figured this all out before I left corporate, like doing, wearing that hat, doing the day-to-day. So what would you say to the person? They already know. We're not trying to convert anyone, but they already know they're ready to leave. They know they're ready for something else, and they're trying to figure it all out in advance. What would you tell them?
Yeah. I mean, we're talking at such a perfect moment. The great resignation is on like every LinkedIn post, any corporate conversation is great resignation, great resignation. And for me, this is a huge opportunity for people to think about their own great reimagination. Like, okay, what I want to dream bigger. And, what I learned for myself when I got this hit 2 years ago, Adriana, I like to be ahead of the curve, so I did the great resignation 2 years ago when there was no reason to leave. Like the trajectory was like to the moon, to CEO, like could do anything. And I just got this inkling. So to your point of like not converting anyone, like if you have that inkling, you have it, and some people don't. They want to stay. They want to be a part of there's so many rewards for staying, I get. But if you have that inkling, like, yes. And for me, I honestly had no idea what it was going to look like, but I trusted that intuition. I heard the term soul excellence. And then I did 3 things where I'm like, you just can't stay in corporate and assume you're going to figure it all out and create the perfect seamless transition where like you go from like your multi-6-figure job and then the next day you're making the same money and your life's even better. Like you can't plan it that way is really my experience. And I talk to and work with so many people right now too, where it's like, I was trying to figure out how to make this safe. And safety is like also the word of the day right now of like, we're all encouraged to be safe and stay safe. And like every sign off on a call is stay safe. And it makes me cringe where I'm like, this is not the point of living. The point of living is to step into the unknown, to express, to really learn like, what are you made of and what are you here for? And so for me, like that looked like leaving San Francisco and moving to Fort Lauderdale, like total change of environment. And I like, you don't have to leave your home, but like change it up, throw some flowers in it, like start getting inspired. And then like, I just got creative. I started writing, like literally I was writing every day and then our worlds collided and like things really took off. But it's giving yourself the space to be creative because in corporate, you don't even realize now the structure that you put yourself in, the routine of what you're doing. Even if you're in creative pursuits, there's a schedule, there's a deadline, there's a client to impress, there's a way to behave. Like there is all that stuff. Like I didn't even realize what I was like leaving on the table,
Mm,
or how much I was performing, how much I was acting like, director of customer success, how much like I was acting the role of like, okay, need to like lead the team now versus who I really am.
mm,
And then the other thing I'd probably, tell people is getting involved in community, and communities that are unlike the ones that you've been a part of in the past. So for me, what was really cool, and again, like this just happened organically. Like the second you start to shift your desire and awareness, like as you know, every device is listening to us. So who you see on Instagram, like what shows up in your world truly is different. And that's why I think like in this technology age, the whole idea of thoughts becoming things is even more powerful because it literally directs whatever we're being shown. And so this means like not jumping into the business association. Like it means being part of communities. Like I remember, you and I first connected. I wrote in the book Awakening, where you brought women together from around the world. And I was like, who are these people? What are they doing? What do you mean? Like they didn't all go to college and they didn't all jump right into a career. Like, what is all of this stuff? And that was super eye-opening to me too, to realize that people are living lives and they're making incredible money and wealth for themselves and their family. They're having a huge impact, and they're doing so entirely in alignment with their values and principles, and they're not sacrificing the core of who they are to do all of that. So like
mm.
that was a big aha, and just something too. If you're in corporate, like you're not actually going to seek those things out. Like they're going to be scary and weird to you until you've given yourself some space to just start putting out new thoughts, and then attracting the community, then finding the people, and then you're on a summit in a year and you've produced like 6 best-selling books on topics around blockchain and conscious leadership, STEM education. Like truly the sky's the limit, but we see ceilings in corporate. It's just what's the next
Mm.
promotion? What's the next job? Like it's super, super linear. Here, it's all exponential. It's all just like who you get to really fly. So I think I just feel like there's a lot of people out there who are like, don't do it until you have a plan. Don't do it till you can ensure you have revenue lined up. And I'm really the opposite message. Like believe in yourself, take that leap of faith, and really trust that like you've been successful in everything else up until this point. Like don't you think that plus you being really, really you is going to be even more successful? um
That's such a good point. That is a very good point. It's like you might not be able to put every single duck in a row in advance, but you have to remember you've always figured it out. You've
Always.
always done well, right? You literally always know how to navigate it no matter what's come up. That's why you've got to where you are.
Right.
So it's not like you lose that ability and those skill sets once you leave one career and hop into another, right?
And that's probably a thing that I maybe got wrong in the early days. Like I almost forgot that I had all of this, had all these executive management skills, that I was super organized, that I was operating at such a high level. Like there was a rocky period in there where I was like scrapped, like I really, really ditched my old self versus like integrated and accepted that part too, in
Mm.
alignment with also the creativity, the vision, the bringing together a community. So yes, like don't leave that part behind. Like she's super awesome too. But now it's like reorienting and starting to come back to, we talk a lot about, right? Like there's the feminine of being able to sit in the feeling, the unknown, and trust. And I just think right now we are bombarded with so much information. We're bombarded with so much external stimulus. Like you have to be the most conscious creator of your life by constantly pruning what's in, what's out, what's in, what's out. And then, yeah, not forgetting like the core of who you are, and also appreciating like, yeah, if you built skills in finance for 20 years, let me tell you, that's going to be helpful for whatever you do next. So like bring it with you. And just leave behind some of the people pleasing, or it has to look a certain way, or I need my boss to give me the promotion. Like this is what I love is like you get to promote yourself, you get to do bigger things, you get to call in whatever that you want. Maybe it's money, maybe it's freedom, maybe it's more fun, maybe it's travel, whatever. And I think that's where people get stuck too, is they have forgotten that it starts from within of like, what is
Mm,
it that I truly want? And just kind of saying maybe that path isn't that exciting anymore within corporate.
mm. So many good points. Oh my gosh. I just feel like you are such an example of how this can be done. And just if you just get a little closer to Kayleigh, like you don't even like you're just gonna like set you'll just go into instant combustion, like you just set yourself on fire, you know? And it's like what you said, it's gonna look a little different for everyone, but it is so important to get as close as you can to people who are doing it
Mm.
because it's our natural tendency. It's just human nature to default back, to go back to comfort, to go back to what we know, right?
Oh my, like if I hadn't put myself in a lot of communities of women who are at all different places, like in their business and in their life, like if I hadn't done that, like I would have gone back because there are those days where you're like, yeah, this is kind of hard. I know for sure I was successful over here, so safety, safety, safety. Let me jump back and like, yeah, I'll make it work. Like I'll find time on the weekends to do what I love. Like it's so funny, like yeah, just the whole concept, right, of living for the weekend. I just think of like how fun and cool my life is now and what it was like before, just like really racing to the weekend. And now like every day is just amazing. But if I hadn't placed myself in communities, if I hadn't attended events like this, if I hadn't just reached out to people too that seemed intimidating, where you're like, oh, I don't know if I can reach out. Like, no, people want you to reach out. They want you to connect and see opportunities to teach, share, grow, and mentor. Um, I I just don't think, yeah, we are not meant to do this alone. Like we're not meant to do business alone. We're not meant to do life alone. And to be honest, that's actually a message that I've struggled a little bit with because I am someone like in corporate, I definitely thought like I had to do it all alone. I had to give the directives, like I had to fight for everything. And so there's still some releasing of that and being like, oh, whoa, there's these like mutually beneficial relationships and friendships, and we all can grow. And there's no like nothing is a zero sum game. Like your success is
Mm,
my success is her success. Like and we're kind of conditioned to like zero sum, finance got the budget, so sales can't have this budget. We hit this goal, but we didn't hit this one, so we can't be too excited. Like you have to start to look too at your beliefs and where they came from. And if you've been in corporate, it's a lot of zero sum stuff. And in this world of just igniting your dream and infinite possibility, that does not exist. But it takes some awareness too when you catch yourself trying to do the solo thing, which like I catch myself all the time of like, Kayleigh, you have friends, right? And this whole network, like, so that's another thing too that I feel like if you're making the shift to the great reimagination, just be aware that that may come up for you, and there's way more support than you've ever received before from a company. Like
mm,
there really is.
mm. That feels so good. And I think that's a great reminder. And I just want to encourage people too, like when you attend an event like this, just like Kayleigh said, the speakers want you to reach out to them.
Yeah, talk to us.
Yeah. Send them a message. Tell them what you liked about their interview. Give them the ideas of what you see or how you could create together or how you can have a conversation that will take things further for both of you. This is what I love about summits is that we actually get access to people we might otherwise not have access to. And those people, they're loving the idea of receiving feedback and interaction. So make sure you get registered, come to the interviews, check everything out, and be sure to reach out to Kayleigh, reach out to those who speak to you, because I'm going to tell you, this is what the fast track looks like, right?
Mm,
Everyone is always wanting the fastest way. It's not what you think. It's actually learning from others so that you don't have to take the long way to grandma's house, right? You don't have to take
mhm,
that as much of a zigzag. So, Kayleigh, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for contributing to the summit.
mhm.
And oh my gosh, you're absolutely rocking it out. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah. And yeah, to the point of like getting in your presence and, seeing your journey and like feeling the energy, the spark and learning from you. I mean, this is a great example too of like what can happen when you put yourself in the company of very aligned people who are unapologetic about who they are. And I just think that's where we're headed to, of like being unapologetically ourselves and sticking to our values. And, that's absolutely what I see in you. So thank you. And really, really excited for next week.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Kayleigh. Here we go. We're on our way. Go get signed up, and we look forward to seeing you at the summit.